What a great song.
Coming back.
This is horrible, dude.
Come on, dude. You can't argue with this song, man. Got to be kidding me, baby. Let it play out, man. Let it play out. Dun, dun, dun. Well, listen, once again, got to start off the coach's office with some Boomer Sooner in honor of the fantastic game this weekend played by the Boomer Sooners home in Norman. The game of the weekend really did not disappoint. We were lucky enough to a lot of us watch it together this weekend. We had a nice little get-together with a bunch of guys hanging out at our local Buffalo Wild Wings establishment, having fun. Guy is only
Thank you, Coach.
25 years
I appreciate
old.
that,
Looks
man.
a lot older, but he's only 25. So again, did not disappoint. I'm gonna kick it off with going through the game real quick. Some of the key points, in my opinion. Total yards, 303 to 287, very close. Rushing yards, Auburn had about 67. Oklahoma, I'm still not happy with their rushing game, with their conventional rushing game. They don't have a feature back yet, in my book. Only 32 yards rushing the ball. So basically, their whole rushing game was 24 carries for 26 yards, and Mateer on his own had 29 yards. So you think about all the negative plays that they had, and a lot of those negative plays it seemed like they were jet sweeps a lot of the time. So it was not good. The sleeper play, I mean, that's a big controversy that went on with Oklahoma running the what people are calling a sleeper play. I just call it a smart football. They had a guy come and line up at the end of the close to the sideline, and they didn't sub anybody, and they ran the play. I mean, Auburn, you got to stay awake right there, man. Sorry. It happened. What are you going to do,
Right.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going with?
I think it's I don't know what else to say about it.
So,
Coach, you got
here's
something
the
to say
thing.
about that?
Mo, I don't know how you feel about this. You're probably going to take Z's side because that just seems to be a
It
trend.
was doomed illegal.
No, well, listen. I tip my cap to Oklahoma. I tend to agree with you, Z. It's like, look for every advantage you can. I think the story of the game, was here. This is the unfortunate thing. The score is 24-17, right? So the play that's in question that everybody's freaking out about, you look at the score, 7 points is the difference. So, in regard to the legality of the play, are you aware, Coach, that the SEC has come out and has pretty much said the play was illegal? They said the play was illegal. They issued a statement. I'll read it. I have it right here. In Saturday's Auburn at Oklahoma football game with 10:50.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Okay. Well, I was going to read the official statement. Okay. If we don't want to do it, we'll.
Yeah, we know. Well, listen, everybody knows what came out. They talked about it. Listen, I'm just stretching a little bit over there.
They're penalizing the refs. The refs are getting penalized for not calling it an illegal play. It literally.
It's what happens sometimes, man. The refs are going to miss some things, man.
You know what the rule is called? Literally, unfair tactics.
Yeah. I don't know. Unfair. They played with 11. Auburn
cheating.
Didn't look for the guy. I don't understand what the problem is.
I'm just going by the officials, dude. I'm just going.
You know what? It reminds me. This reminds me of when the officials told me that we couldn't do. What was it again? We couldn't do the fake clap when we were doing the clap cadence back when Malta was playing. And I said, why can't we do it? Well, that's called deception. I go, deception. I go, welcome to football. I said, you telling me you're gonna tell teams they can't run the option because it's deceptive? I go, what are we talking about here? You could say deceptive. The guy just walked casually to the sideline and they snapped the ball. He looked at the guy on the sideline and says, I'm on. He goes, he's on, and the ref said, yeah. So I don't know.
No,
but going back to the game, a lot of controversy on it. I understand what you guys are saying, but I'm a homer. Yeah.
There were a couple of other questionable calls too in the game. It didn't stop. Like Oklahoma completely shut down Auburn, which I think is the part that some Auburn fans are glossing over. But at the end of the day, there was a couple of very questionable calls, and it's just Z. with all due respect, you are probably the most outspoken critic of poor officiating. I mean, listen,
Yes.
like some of our viewers are sitting here going nuts because anyone who knows you personally and has had the privilege of being on the sideline with you as a coach knows your disdain for poor officiating. You have been, I don't know, let's just say excitable at times. I'll put it delicately with poor officiating, right? So we're gonna say Oklahoma breaks, like literally breaks a rule to score a game-winning a touchdown, and we're just gonna like, come on, dude. I mean, you got to have a little bit of integrity here, Z. Can we at least say that it was questionable?
It was definitely questionable. And according to their letter of the law, I mean, it is deceptive. It was all that kind of thing. But when the guy just walks to the sideline and tells the ref, I'm on, the ref says, okay, and the other team doesn't see him, I don't know. I mean, I can understand if it was during an actual substitution, but they didn't even substitute. That's the other part about it, So I don't know. I mean, you can go on and on about it. A couple of things from that game. I mean, I love Oklahoma's tight end, H-back. Jaron Kanak is an animal. The guy tries to jump over everybody or tries to run through everybody. I love watching the guy play football. It is awesome to watch him. Just going to say that right there, And also, listen, we talk about bad officiating. We were sitting there watching that pick play right before the half that they called in Oklahoma. They called the pick play where the guy ran a route, and the guy that was supposedly getting picked, he ran into the Oklahoma guy, and the Oklahoma guy did nothing to try to impede him at all. And they called the pick play that brought back basically a point-getting play that Oklahoma was down inside the 20-yard line. So, I mean, that was poor too. And you can always find things like that.
The crew's getting reprimanded, from what I understand. They're being held accountable. I think.
Yeah, I got you.
The only thing they did do right though was overturn that fumble that Auburn scooped up and scored, because
that was questionable too. I could say that was questionable.
That one was questionable.
If you rewatch it, his butt was down before the ball comes out. So although it was a fumble, his butt was still down. So I mean,
here's the thing, man. That was very questionable. There was another play
like 20 times. I thought they showed his.
Well, the ball was loose. It came loose, and I think he got possession of it again. And then his butt hit the ground, and the ball came out. Again, a close call, man. It's tough. It's a close call right there.
There was another one at the end with Satania. Same thing. It was like, oh, okay. There was an incomplete. They first ruled it an incomplete pass. This was like for the game winner at the end.
Yeah.
Big play to Satania, right? Incomplete pass. And then they're like, oh, no, let's hang on, everybody. Let's look at it again. And it wasn't an incomplete pass. It was a catch and a fumble out of bounds. So it was like, it just seemed like there were bad calls going in both directions. It seemed like there was a nod a little bit towards Oklahoma, and some of them were huge missed calls.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. And it was in a 7-point game. And you know what? I'll tip my cap to, Mateer's great player. I think the offense, Arbuckle, they're doing a great job. And I thought last week, I thought that Auburn's defensive front was going to be a big step up in competition for Oklahoma. I thought they were much better than the challenges that Michigan gave them. And they did. They showed up. They played hard. It was a nasty game. And unfortunately, I feel like Auburn kind of got the shaft by the officials, but you got to play the game on the field.
Right. I mean, listen, that's what a lot of people are going to take away from this game. But I thought there was a lot of penalties called in Oklahoma, a lot of pass interference penalties, which I think they were a lot of the time. You had a true freshman going out there against Cam Coleman for Auburn, who was an awesome receiver, and the true freshman had some trouble. And you know what? They called the penalties on him, and I got to say, a lot of the calls were the right calls. So it's again, the guy only had 3 catches in the game. He had 100 and something yards. But I think that's a guy that they should have got the ball to more, and they probably tried. But let's tip our hat here. We start talking about some of the top fronts in football, and I hear Kite keep talking about Michigan, Auburn, but let's give a little bit of props to the defensive front that had 14 tackles for a loss, a record 10 sacks against Jackson Arnold. Can you give them a little bit of props, Coach Kite?
Yeah, no, they did great. Vanderbilt is doing good, man. He's got a good unit. They're physical. He's doing a good job dialing it up, man. They're nasty on defense.
And also,
they're gonna have to be, dude. Because listen, what happened? You know what I mean? We got to bring it up. What
the mush?
You can't. The mush literally needs to be studied. I'm blown away by it. I sent you guys the text, right? Did you see?
I saw it this morning.
Yeah.
September 6th at 11:17 p.m. Probably before his first game was even complete, Z. I mean, it was like the primetime game that night. Mush is calling for Mateer to get the Heisman. What happens? Little does he know. You know, they call it the butterfly effect. It's like someone throws a pebble into a pond over here, and then over there, JFK gets assassinated how many years down the road? This is this is the ability of Jay Groeschel to mush people. People don't realize it. And I tried, to his credit, I tried getting him on the record about Jackson Dart. And if he doesn't believe in his own mushing capability, he would have made a statement that he thinks Jackson Dart's going to help the Giants.
Here we go.
He refused to help the Giants.
I got to go over this with our listeners because here's the text right here. First, there's a nice flag by me talking about Oklahoma. And then here it is, Jay Grow. Mateer could win the Heisman. He's that good. And then Lloyd goes, Jay, did you just mush Mateer? And Jay laughed at it. Blackburn laughed at it. Everybody laughing at it. And then all of a sudden I replied to Jay going, damn, Jay, what the fuck did you just do to the poor kid?
It's wild.
That was the name. That's how it went. And guess what happened?
Wild.
You know, first, listen, and he broke his finger in the first quarter of that game.
Yeah,
and went on to have a very good game.
Awesome.
It was on a pass play when he broke it. But listen, the last thing we'll go over with that game real quick, and I got to put this out if you haven't seen it, what happened on Twitter. But R. Mason Thomas, one of the dominant defensive linemen for Oklahoma, on the last play with the safety, told the whole D-line, basically, I mean, you got to say, this is like, the Babe Ruth-esque. He goes, guys, you guys just stay back. I got him. And he rushed through the offensive tackle and the running back for that safety. Listen, called his shot, man. I got to give props right there.
Dog.
I kind of love that stuff.
Dog.
And, hey, we'll see what Boomer Sooner has going forward because Michael Hawkins Jr. is a bad man. He beat Auburn last year. He's a bad man. They got a bye week, Kent State, and then a little rivalry in Dallas that we all can't wait to watch in a couple weeks. So we're going to have some fun.
We're ready. Here's the thing. Were we moving on to Florida, Miami?
Yep.
So listen, I'll throw some stats in a second. It's like I'm a little bit torn when you think about this game. Is it one of two things? It's like, Miami is one of those teams. I'll put them in the same class as a Penn State or a Notre Dame where it's like they have a little bit of success early on and the hype train goes wild, right? So it's like, is Miami that good or is Florida that bad? It's like kind of a little bit of both, right? Miami's defense they had a great game. DJ Lagway struggled. I mean, probably might be his worst performance of the year so far.
No picks, though. No picks.
What's that?
No picks.
No picks, Malt, but sacked 4 times. 23 attempts, 12 completions, 61 yards passing for the entire game.
Yep.
Damn.
Right? And then you sit back and you say you have this highly touted offensive line in Florida that everybody was high on in the beginning of the year. And, these guys rush 80 yards on 29 attempts. So I don't know what's going on offensively there. I mean, they have the players. Lagway's a 5-star guy. Jaden Baugh, who I think is kind of like an undervalued running back. The guy's a load. Their entire offense came seemingly in the third quarter. They went on a nice, probably 80-yard drive. Baugh 6'1", 231 pounds, and the guy moves, man. And 12 carries the whole game. We have a quarterback that's struggling. We have a passing offense that's struggling. Here you have this highly touted offensive line. You have this big, physical, fast, explosive running back. We give him the ball 12 times the entire game.
Yeah.
So it's you kind of question. Everybody's kind of Napier's on a hot seat. Everybody's saying this, that, and the third. It's like, well, you know what? Are you putting your best foot forward offensively? And again, it's tough because I think Miami's defense is awesome. They fly around. They have some amazing players on the D, right? They got the two.
They
got the two
physical
edge players. You know, Ruben Bain.
Swarming to the ball. The gang swarms, riots, and bedlams were
unbelievable.
They
awesome
were
the
plentiful. They were plentiful, right?
Yep.
10 and 9 pressures each, respectively, for Ruben Bain Jr. and Akeem Musador. I just thought they flew around and they shut down but they shut down a bad offense. You know what I mean? But they've been physical. They've been doing great things against whoever they play. Miami offensively, though, their offense kind of sputtered out a little bit. And this is where some of the questions come into play for me personally surrounding Carson Beck, right? The guy is just, when he has to make, the only turnover of the game was a Carson Beck interception. So, you know, some of the things there, he wasn't exactly lighting the world on fire. Passing wise, 17 for 30, 160 yards and an INT. So, you know, the offense really grew its legs, and it was on the back of the Miami offensive line in the run game. The first score of the game for me was awesome as an offensive line guy. 0-0, I want to say it was. I think I have it here. 0-0, end of the first quarter. They're on the 2-yard line. They go double tight, straight T formation. And at the end of the play, if you count, out of 11 Florida Gator defensive players, 2 of them were not pushed all the way into the end zone. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like, so here we go again, Cristobal. It was very Bear-esque, coach. So, you know, Shannon Dawson is a guy who I think kind of gets, especially after the success he had with Cam Ward being 20 personnel, throwing the ball down the field, the spread concepts, the tempo. He kind of recognizes what he has this year in his offensive line and his run game. And when things get dicey, I don't think he's afraid to lean on them. He knows he has a good defense on the other side of the ball. He's not afraid to just lean on his offensive line, be physical in a run game, especially if Carson Beck's making some bad decisions. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Did you guys see the College Game Day?
Phenomenal.
So the kicking contest for the game, right? He brings out the kid, right? The kid brings his friend. He's like, he's athletic, this and that. And he's like, shout out to the boys. Like, if we make this, everyone's splitting the money back home. So, like, you think, like, if you get nominated and you don't think you can make it, the person, your buddy that you're nominating, you would think he could probably make this kick, right? So he comes off.
He better.
He makes it. Pat makes it $500,000 kick. You guys are splitting it, taking it home for the boys. He bricks it off the building. I thought in my head, I was like, shout out to all my buddies. I ain't picking any one of them. I'm taking my other buddy, Jake Winecoop. We're making this kick and we're taking this money home. Like, that's what we're doing. I mean, he gave him another kick and it wasn't even close again. Like, dude.
Hey, pressure, man. There's some pressure mountain there.
Oh, great. But...
the last thing about that game, and I'll leave you with this so we can get on to the next one, was Florida, 140 total yards, 0 for 13
0 for 13 on third down was
13.
Like, it's the worst. I want to say the worst they've had in, like, I don't know how many years. It's I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on over there. You want to root for them, but
Maul, what do we got here about the next game, Maul?
Michigan at Nebraska. I mean, we hit Michigan on this. It was a winner. Maybe Nebraska let this one slip. They played a hell of a game, but this was a good old Michigan football game at its finest. You got 7 sacks on defense, 231 carries on offense, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns. Quarterback had a 37-yard touchdown. Justice Haynes, 75-yard touchdown. Jordan Marshall, 54-yard touchdown. I mean, that's your typical Michigan football game. I mean, Nebraska fails to break the streak of 28 consecutive against top opponents. It's just...
Yeah.
And I thought they played great.
And again, like we talked about before,
Yep.
One score
Raiola
game.
went 30 for 41.
Nebraska 0 and 40,
Yeah.
47 now.
But Nebraska played great.
One score
Raiola
games,
30
man.
for 41, 308 yards, 3 touchdowns. First quarterback since Purdue's Aiden O'Connell to throw for 300 yards against Michigan. So, I mean, the dude played to win, and unfortunately, they didn't. Yep.
I
Gotta
felt
stop the run,
Nebraska
baby.
had their chances, man. It
Yeah.
was like a back and forth game, and I just thought like it really right down to the end of the game, it could have been anybody's game. So I tip my cap, Matt Rule. I still think Nebraska is definitely on the up, and it's just going to be, they have some tough games ahead of them, so we'll see what happens.
And their defense just had to come to play there because all 3 touchdowns, it was like the 75-yard touchdown was the first play to drive, the 54-yard touchdown was the second play to drive, and the 37-yard touchdown was the first play to drive. So it's not like they got ran
Bang,
down the
bang,
field.
bang.
Yep. The black shirts aren't quite black right now. I think they're a little bit of a light gray. They're working their way to try to get back to the black shirts, but they're not there. That a Hail Mary right at the half definitely helped Nebraska out. Completing a Hail Mary for a touchdown was a big play for them. Get tied up going into halftime, but the mighty Wolverines proved victorious.
Big win for the road.
All right, now we're going to get into our 5 would you rather questions after week 4. Now I had to change one of these questions because I had a question here about Gundy, which we'll get into a little later. But here we go. First one. Would you rather be Indiana, who just notched their 7th victory over a top 10 team in program history, or Syracuse, who secured a massive upset win, looking dominant down at Clemson?
I'll take Hughes. I mean, high expectations from last year after big success, and week 1 against Tennessee, they got blown out the water. So you figured come up against another ranked opponent, you got to play better, especially on the road too. I mean, going to Q's games every year, they're a tough team to play, especially when you play them at home. They got a big matchup this week, underdogs again at home to Duke. I'm pretty sure it's Duke, so I think they're going to make some noise here. I hate Duke. I'm trying to get some money back on Duke. But that's all I got for that one.
I'm taking Indiana, and I'll tell you why. Because I just feel like moving forward, week after week, this is going to be like a continued sentiment. But it's like I feel like the Clemson win that everybody's hanging their hat on, I think is meaning a little bit less and a little bit less. I think Indiana's rolling right now. They're putting up some numbers. I think they're red hot. And I think that moving forward, if they continue to have the success that they're having and they continue to climb, I definitely think they have a little bit better chance to maybe sneak into the playoffs. I know their schedule is a little bit more difficult, but I think they have a good opportunity. And the meat and potatoes of their schedule is still in front of them. They're going to have some big teams to play. Should they pull out a victory over those teams, they definitely have to be put in the discussion. And I think that, again, like that big hang your hat win over Clemson's kind of like, it's not what it.
Like I said, it's meaning less and less now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, next question right here. Now, this was my what hot seat when I had with Coach Gundy. So I changed it last night to go over for what's going on today. But here we go. I'm going to add this question. Which job would you rather take if you were a top head football coaching candidate? Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State, or UCLA, the 3 teams that have fired their coaches right now? Which one is most appealing to you guys?
I'm split between 2. I'm split between UCLA because I think they probably have the biggest NIL bank account. And then Virginia Tech strictly you guys know why. Because of the entrance, man. Enter Sandman, tapping the sign. That place is rocking.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State, I don't know what you're doing getting rid of Gundy, man. What are you going to do? Get a new awesome head coach that's going to come in there and do something great and he'll leave after 3 years? The guy, I don't know. So I'm split. I'm going to go, 50% UCLA because I think it's the better opportunity, and then Virginia Tech just because that place is outrageous on.
Yeah, I agree there. I agree there. I like that.
Yeah, the big thing, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma State, I thought would have been in an awesome spot dealing with the NIL because of their big donor over there, T. Boone Pickens, who the stadium's named after him and everything. But the fact he passed away, and since he's passed away, a lot of things have not gone the Oklahoma State Cowboys' way. So my point, if he was still around, that could have been a very different place with NIL as far as how much he cares for that university and how much money he's put into it. But you know what? That's the past, and you can't worry about it. But in my opinion, the best job there, in my opinion, easily Virginia Tech, because you're going to sell that place out every night. UCLA, I don't even know if they care about football over there, or they want to care about writing whatever they want to do in woke culture in California. Who knows? But all right, next game we're going to go. Next question: which Big 12 team would you rather be? 4-0 Texas Tech, coming off a huge win at Rice-Eccles Stadium at Utah, being or 3-0 TCU, coming off a very good win over a tough SMU game in the Iron Skillet Bowl.
I like Texas Tech. I mean, offense is firing in all cylinders. And this week everyone was saying Utah's defense is going to come to play, and Texas Tech defense stole the show. I mean, that was it.
I just think Texas Tech's the better team right now. A little bit, ranking wise, I think they're better, and I think moving forward with their schedule again, a little bit bigger opportunity to make a splash down the road at the end of the season. So I'm definitely going. I agree, Mo. I'm going
another big NL program for them.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, which Big Ten team would you rather be? 3-1 Nebraska, coming off a tough loss at home against Michigan that we just talked about, or 3-1 high-ranked Illinois, was highly ranked, coming off a brutal blowout loss at the hands of Kurt Cignetti's Indiana Hoosiers, 63-10.
No brainer for me. I'd rather be Nebraska. I just feel like there's more takeaways. There's more positives to take from. They were in a much closer game against a great opponent. So it's like, I mean, take the teams out of it, take the names out of it, take the ranks out of it. It's like, would you rather be a team that just had a very hard-fought, tough loss to possibly maybe a little bit better team, or a team that got friggin' wrecked? I mean, I'd rather be the team that there's definitely come film room time, there's going to be a lot of positives. So I'm just going with, for that factor, I'm going to go with Nebraska.
Yep, I agree there. Nebraska all day.
Now, listen, one thing I take away from that, Nebraska, the only thing that could be creeping in their head is that, 47-game losing streak in one-score games. And it keeps getting bigger in their head possibly as it keeps going. I think Illinois, listen, when you have a running game, sometimes it travels, you know what I mean? With a lot of times it should travel. But we'll see what happens this week. I think Illinois is playing Ohio State next week, if I'm not mistaken. Not 100% sure on that one, but I got to check that. But you never know what's going to happen coming forward right there with those two. All right, which team has a better chance to making some noise in the loaded SEC? Number 23, Missouri, 4-0, coming off a good win over South Carolina. Or number 20, Vanderbilt, sitting at 4-0, who also beat South Carolina 2 weeks ago. So which team is the up-and-comer here,
SEC
gentlemen?
is wild right now.
Yeah, this one
I love it.
They are loaded.
It's like the
Unbelievable
second-tier teams that everybody expects to just kind of like be like, placeholders and keep it warm for Georgia and whatever. They're kicking ass, and it's making it awesome. It's making it every week. There's like these marquee matchups going on. It's awesome. To answer your question, Z, I'm going Vanderbilt, and I'm going Vanderbilt strictly because I just think their offense is exciting. I think Pavia is one of these guys that has this Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel kind of like characteristic to him, where he's willing to just stand on his head and do whatever he needs to do to help his team get a win. I think last year they were in a bunch of games they had no business being in, and they're a better team this year, right? They went out and got some guys from the portal. They put some players around Pavia. It's like I don't think anybody's even really taking him that serious yet. And I'm going Vanderbilt.
I like Missouri here. I mean, I think Penn State might be regretting letting Purbuell go because he's been performing and Alar hasn't. But I don't know. I'm going to base it off of their schedules, I guess. I mean, you got Missouri. Missouri's at home against Bama and Texas A&M. and Vanderbilt is on the road against Texas, Bama. So, I don't know. I mean, I like Missouri's running back this year. Looked like Derrick Henry out there. The guy was moving.
He's a
He's
stud,
an
man.
animal. Louisiana Monroe transfer.
So, I mean, they got talent. Both teams got talent. It's tough. They play October 25th. I think it's week 9. They play at Vanderbilt, so that's going to be a great game to watch.
Yep. Now, one thing to piggyback off of basically almost all the would you rather games and some other games. Here's a funny number I saw, which basically shows you the reason why teams like Oklahoma State, Clemson are struggling to deal with the new college football the way it is. Now, here's one. Ready? The top 7 transfer portal classes, meaning that who was ranked the top 7 guys, top 7 teams to bring in transfer portal guys in college football right now are 27 and up. LSU, Texas Tech, the U, Ole Miss, Oregon, Florida State, and Missouri. All them top transfer teams are now 27 and up. So that's the new state. Developing your players out the window. Welcome to bringing somebody else's developed players. And I wish we could put I am a big fan of developing players, man.
Clip of Nick Nolte from Blue Chips right here. The best team money can buy. It's like the truth. And you know what?
That's what it is, man. And that's welcome to college football, man.
How important is recruiting right now, right? I mean, you're going to go.
No, how important is your checkbook? You know, that's all that matters, man.
It was like guys like a Nick Saban, who's a master recruiter, right? Gets done winning a national championship. Before he gives one guy a hug, he goes over to the phone in the locker room and calls up all his 5-star guys and says, listen to this. It doesn't matter because let the chips fall where they may when kids get recruited. Once they start showing up on the national stage college-wise, we'll just go pay them money and get them in here. You know what I mean? So.
Yep. All right. We're going to shift our gears to next week.
Let's go, baby.
And the biggest game on the docket. Go ahead.
Take it away,
Mal. Tell us about it.
The O, baby. Big Oregon takes on Penn State. It's a whiteout. Oregon's going to kick their ass. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Stop the running game. Stop the running game. And let's see if Alar can throw the football. They haven't played a team that is higher than an FCS rank of lower than 100. And the guy's got a QBR of a 38. And if he spiked the ball on every single down, he'd have a QBR of a 39.6.
Love that statistic.
So, you got
That's a good one.
To make plays. Stop the running game. They got 2 stud running backs. They got stud O-linemen. I mean, for Oregon's offense, Dante Moore has been lights out. He's got to keep the offense rolling. Will Stein is a magician. In 3 out of 4 games this year, Oregon has had 200 passing, 200 rushing, and 2 out of 4 games this year, they've had 300 passing and 300 rushing. So they're balanced. They come in with the 9th ranked passing defense, 40th ranked rushing defense, giving up 108 yards a game on the ground, 120 yards through the air. They are one of 4 teams in college football to let up 0 passing touchdowns. Okay. From Penn State's side.
Wow, big battle coming up.
From Penn State's side, I mean, you got to put pressure on Dante Moore. You got to get to the offense. You got to stop them from getting it to all their weapons. I mean, there's weapons all over the field. Dominate the line of scrimmage, Penn State. Kill time of possession. Lean on both your running backs. Penn State comes in with the 13th ranked passing defense, giving up 123 yards a game. And they come in with the 33rd rushing defense. So, for the mush, Oregon's.
I think we could throw out Penn State's stats since they've only played FCS teams right now.
It's crazy. And then the other thing too, the other little Mal, I agree with you. I think outright I would take Oregon to win. I just don't think it can really be overstated the impact that whiteout Beaver Stadium has on a team coming into it. It's like I don't know how. And again, I saw that.
I've been there. Unbelievable.
I know. The thing that you sent us all about Dan Lanning trying to prep the guys playing the song, like tip your cap to them. Try your best to replicate something. I don't know how you get a team ready to be make changes, communications, audibles in that environment. I definitely think Oregon's the better team. It's just going to be that's going to be a wild game, man. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, big one.
I mean, I look at it as far as which running back by committee team is going to win this game, because I mean, Penn State has Katron Allen, Nick Singleton is their 1-2 punch. Oregon has 4 guys that have really put up good numbers in their running game with Jordan Davison, Jalen Lamar, De'Aaron Hall, Hill Jr., and Noah Whittington. They each have over 150 yards rushing. Basically, when you say this game, as flashy as this game is with these teams, you think this game is going to be won
in
the trenches, man. True. That's what my thinking is, because, I just think they're both solid, but who's going to be able to run the ball better?
The only thing, though, is I just felt like, right, and I know last year, and teams are night and day different because of, again, new players, the whole thing. The blueprint last year was stop the run. You looked at the playoffs last year with Penn State. Stop the run, make Drew Aller beat you with his arm, and throw pressured throws down the field on big downs, on big plays. And in the big moment, he couldn't do it, right? Tyler Warren shut him down. They did what they had to do. So, again, you got to think game plan-wise going into it. Oregon's going to say, listen, we're going to do – if we're going to lose, it's going to be Aller beating us with his arm down the field on big downs, feeling pressure.
That's it.
And I don't know if the guy can do it, man. Again, it's going to be it's a big question for both teams, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Another stat, one more stat I had. James Franklin, 2 for 20 against top 6 teams. 2 for 20.
Yeah. Listen, he's got to kind of get off that little snide that he's on and break into the upper echelon. It's tough to say that for a top-ranked team. But whenever they play another top-ranked team, listen, they're not playing FCS teams anymore. That's all I got to say. All right. Now, the other huge game this weekend is basically, for years, this game was whoever won this game was going to win the national championship for a pretty long run. And it's crazy to say that, but Alabama and Georgia, this is one of the best rivalries, in my opinion, in college football. The winner of this game has gone on to do amazing things in playoffs, been front runners, and sometimes even the other team came back and knocked the other one off in the playoff in championship games. But Alabama won the most recent meeting in the 2024 SEC championship, which prevented Georgia from winning their 3rd consecutive national title. Georgia's Kirby Smart has a poor record against Alabama, but a lot of that is Nick Saban's Alabama. He's 1-7 against them. So basically, huge test here for Kalen DeBoer in his 2nd season, coming in after replacing Nick Saban. After that tough loss to Florida State, I think Alabama's looking a little bit better right now. Quarterback has played a lot better. Simpson has played a lot better as of late, but he's going to see. And they're going into Georgia, where I found this amazing, that this will be the first Alabama and Georgia matchup held at Sanford Stadium in between the hedges in Athens since Kirby Smart became the head coach at Georgia. Yeah. That's amazing right there. I don't know how. I think a lot of them were in the playoffs, in the Georgia Dome and stuff like that. But this is the first time Alabama's coming in there, and that's a tough place to play down there. Both quarterbacks, a little similar between Georgia's Gunnar Stockton and Alabama's Ty Simpson. They're both very similar. I think Gunnar Stockton is a little bit more of a gritty, tougher type of running quarterback. The team seems to respond to him very well. They kind of love the way he is and the scrappiness of him. He's got as Coach Kite would say, very high scrap level for Gunnar Stockton. And injuries on the offensive line here for both teams can play a little bit of a role. Both a little banged up on the O-line. So this game, we're going to see what happens here, but I'm telling you one thing, it's definitely one you don't want to miss.
It's going to be awesome. Again, Z, I think you hit the nail on the head when you kind of said everybody's circling this game on their calendar when it was Nick Saban's Alabama. For me right now, personally, I'm going to go – the people are going to think I'm crazy. Georgia's, to me, #1 team in the country. I know that's saying a lot, especially at this juncture. The win at Tennessee was awesome. They have Blood Tuesday. Obviously, when you want to use the words fight level and scrap level, when you title a work day's practice, Blood Tuesday in Georgia, I'm a fan because these guys only know how to go 100 miles an hour. I don't think Alabama has the horsepower anymore. I can't believe it. Like I'm saying that. It sounds wild, right? Like Alabama
Crazy.
doesn't have the horsepower. I think Georgia's just on a different level in terms of two things. I think they got players all over the field. I think they win in the trenches, but it's just that mentality, man. These kids expect you could let them go play an NFL team. I genuinely feel like the locker room feels like they're going to win. And until the last second ticks off the clock and the refs kick them off the field, these kids want to compete. And that is a mentality that's fostered and built in practice by Kirby Smart. And it's just awesome. And I really think that's going to translate. And I don't think that this game will even be as close as the Tennessee game. I think Georgia's going to pound these guys.
I agree with that.
Ooh.
I mean, it's
Okay.
revenge from last year. They freaking Bama came out, made plays last year. I mean, this game comes down to whoever makes the biggest plays, whether it's the most plays, whether it's turnovers, third down stops, or even red zone defense. I mean, I think the red zone defense is huge here because you got two quarterbacks that are getting into this atmosphere now. You got Georgia, Bama. Like, I think both defenses are going to hunt them down. But I'm with Kite on this one. I mean, I'm taking Georgia. I think they're gonna mash them. I mean, Kirby Smart is probably a little sick to his stomach about last year still when they lost to him. Bama, there's just weapons all over the place for both sides of the field. Just get it to them, and it's gonna be a great game. Can't wait to watch it. If they have the double screen.
Listen, I'm telling the truth right here. I think I feel bad because of what he's had to deal with, but I do believe Kalen DeBoer is.
You've
a very
said that,
good
Coach.
football.
We know.
And I think I'm telling you, I think this is going to be Bama. I really do. I have a feeling that they're going to come out, and I feel. Listen, like you said, the last time we talked about, Malls brought it up once about like Miami and Florida kids. This is like Alabama, Georgia. Like if you got a scholarship to Georgia, you probably got one from Bama too. So these guys, when they look at each other across the field, they think they're better than the other guy. They know that I beat this guy in high school, whatever it might be. I am better. I think they both have that mentality. The only thing I want to see a little better job of is the fight level of Bama's defense. If I see a high fight level from Bama's defense in this game, I like my pick. If I see them not hustling to the ball and not playing like to match the tenacity of Georgia, and if Georgia can just run the ball whenever they want to run the ball, it's going to be a long day. But I'm going to go with Bama trying to coming in here and doubting everybody and throwing the whole SEC into another.
Let me ask you a question, though,
which I would love to see.
For the scholarship analogy that we keep throwing out there. If you get a scholarship to both Alabama and Georgia, which one are you taking now?
Georgia.
You're taking Georgia, dude. They're the big dog.
I don't know.
They're the big dog now. It is.
Listen, all I know is from what I hear about Bama and how that campus is. I don't know.
Blood Tuesday, Coach. Blood Tuesday.
I don't know. I could say, well, nowadays I'm probably saying I'm taking where I'm getting the most money. All right, here we go. Coach Kite, what do we got here coming up in the Magnolia Bowl?
To reiterate, right? SEC, awesome, right? And these, like, I feel like a jerk saying these second-tier teams, right? But, LSU, here we go. To use a little Coach Z term here, the unstoppable force against the immovable object. I feel like the strength on strength, everybody's going to look forward to seeing one thing, and it's going to be LSU's defense against a highly charged Lane Kiffin Ole Miss offense. Ole Miss came out, they had a highly touted guy in Austin Simmons taking over for Jackson Dart. The guy gets hurt. I watched the Ole Miss Kentucky game. The guy, he got banged up. I think he rolled his ankle, played one more game, realized he couldn't go. And then insert super freak Trinidad Chambliss.
What a name.
I mean, the guy is the guy reminds me of like any given Sunday, Willie Beeman. Like he comes in, the invisible
Steven
juice
Willie
is
Beeman.
going, right? And he's electric. He does all the things that drives the coach crazy, that would drive a Coach Z crazy, right? He drops back after 2 seconds. He's losing ground, rolling out, breaking contain, doing all these crazy things, but he's just an outrageous athlete. And he started 2 games, played Arkansas, tough team, right? Are they an LSU? Is it an LSU defense? It's not an LSU defense. But he's playing Arkansas, and he plays Tulane, 2 difficult teams to play, and he goes 2-0. In the 2 games, 719 yards passing and 195 yards rushing in his first 2 starts, 6 touchdowns coming off the bench. The guy's absolutely electric. And Lane Kiffin can score points, man. I mean, 30 points versus Kentucky, 41 versus Arkansas, 45 versus Tulane, and that's with Chambliss at quarterback. So again, that is the unstoppable force. You ready? The immovable object is LSU's defense, which they are awesome. I mean, Their offense so far has, Coach Z, left me a little cold, but their defense is absolutely outstanding. Just the 4th in the nation in rushing yards per game, 56 yards per game rushing, 15th in total yards per game. Defensive coordinator Blake Baker, extremely creative using his players. He's got some great players. Whit Weeks. Some of these guys on the LSU defense are they're animals. He disguises looks. He disguises pressures. He disguises stunts. And he's going up against, for a lack of better term, rookie quarterback. So here we go. I don't think anybody
can't say rookie quarterback. This is his 4th year of college. He played at Ferris State.
Listen, he's a
D2 school.
Ferris State,
had a great
season. I know the whole thing. They got him from Ferris State, led them to a Division II run, postseason, the whole thing. Different when you're playing football in the SEC and you're going up against SEC defenses. So again,
100%.
You know what I mean? And I think LSU's D is an absolute buzzsaw, due in large part to their coordinator and the creativity of the guy. And let's be honest, some of these linebackers for LSU are just absolutely insane. So I really think it's gonna be exciting. I think that Ole Miss, to overcome the adversity, your starting quarterback goes down, and then this guy comes off your bench, and you're just having the success that you're having. I think everybody's really excited to see, again, Garrett Nussmeier. Everybody had this guy. He was definitely in the discussion in the beginning of the year. You would put him, Arch Manning obviously was number 1. Here we go. Then maybe a Cade Klubnik. Nussmeier was up there as a potential Heisman guy. 94 completions on 137 attempts, 962 yards, 6 TDs, and an INT. I mean, he's good, but not great, right? I think everybody's going to tune in to watch that matchup of Lane Kiffin and this wild man quarterback against LSU's defense. I think that's what I'm excited to watch. Again, it's going to be hard watching every game because there's some really good ones this weekend.
Yeah. I got the stat of the week. Lane Kiffin's daughter posted an Instagram picture with LSU's stud linebacker Whit Weeks commenting, "I'm happy. Looks like they just started dating," or whatever. That was their announcement.
Yeah.
This guy last year in the overtime win that LSU had over Ole Miss, he had 18 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble. So who's playing mind games here?
But wait, did you see what Lane Kiffin did after that?
He said, "Take the over."
He tweets, "Take the over," meaning like, "Oh, you want to date my daughter? You're on LSU's defense. I'm gonna hang 50 on you."
Yeah.
Oh, I love this whole story, man. This is crazy. That is. I mean, just think about that. You're gonna date my daughter. You're a great defensive player. Blah, blah, blah. Take the over. God, this is gonna be awesome.
Here's the thing. Realistically, you think Trinidad Chambliss You think he shows out versus LSU's D? I think LSU's D is something special.
I do.
So I think he's going to have
Ole
a
Miss
little bit of a
comes in as
tough
a
time.
1.5 point favorite. So I don't know. I mean, I think Ole Miss might get it done, but I don't know. I love this LSU team. I do.
Well, listen, I understand LSU's defense looks good right now. But again, Clemson win. Doesn't look that good right now. Florida win. Looks even worse. So this is going to be a big test, and I can't wait to see this game also.
I kind of want to back Lane here, though.
All right, new segment here. We're going to try to go through this quick because we got to finish up soon. But who needs a win more here? We got number 25, 4-0 USC at number 9, reeling 3-1 Illinois. Who needs to win more? Boys.
Real quick, I got USC. I just think their schedule moving forward is a lot harder, right? Still on the schedule for USC, I believe, is Michigan, Nebraska, Notre Dame, and Oregon. So it's tough to think for me. USC is going to run the table there. They're definitely going to stub their toe a little bit moving forward, I think, later in the schedule. So I think a win this week is probably vital.
Yeah, I like Illinois, though. I mean, hot start to the year. Came crumbling when you get ripped 63-10 in against a ranked opponent. I mean, they're gonna have to. They need a win to get the confidence back up.
Yep. All right, in the ACC. All right, 2-2 Duke. Who needs a win more? Or 3-1 Duke at 3-1 Syracuse. Who needs this win more?
I think Duke does. I mean, Syracuse is coming off a big win, but Duke needs this just because they're going to the Dome. I mean, they're a 5.5 point favorite. I mean, I've been to the Dome every year for the last 6 years.
How are they a 5.5 point favorite?
I don't know.
I mean, it's like why was Indiana a favorite over Illinois? Somebody knows something.
Yep.
So I mean, but they had high anticipation for Duke all year. They were favored over Illinois. They got blown out, 5 turnovers. Then they were 1.5 point favorite in their next game, or 1.5 point favorites to Tulane, lost that game.
Yep.
And then they came in as a 1.5 point favorite last week, and they won by 20. So I mean,
listen, man, I'm gonna say this. I'm a little bit of a homer when it comes to Duke. One of my best friends in the entire world is on the staff there, a beloved member of our fraternity.
The doctor,
Dr. Feelgood. Here's the thing. I think Duke's a good football team. And listen, Tulane isn't a bad team. We've seen that, right? I think Tulane isn't bad. And, Illinois, not a bad team. And Duke had their chances in every game. I think Duke is a lot better than their record shows right now.
They are.
And especially when you back an injured animal into a corner and they have that they're in survival mode, they're dangerous. I think Duke is a much better team than their record shows, and I think they have a great coaching staff. And again, I'm not surprised they're favorite. I'm picking Duke. Definitely needs to win more, but I think I have all the faith in the world that they're able to go out and get it.
Yep. All right, here we go. Last game here for who needs to win more. 3-1 Auburn traveling to 3-0 Texas A&M. Who needs to win more?
Auburn, baby. Coming off a loss where a lot of Auburn fans probably think they got screwed in a couple situations. I mean, they want this game. They want this game. Texas A&M is a highly respectable team, with the way they've played so far this year. I think Auburn's got a team to beat a couple. They could win a couple ranked games, and I think they're going to make some noise here. But I hope Auburn comes out with a win here.
I think it's obviously a big game for both teams. I think A&M definitely needs the win for where they want to go. I think they have aspirations of, making a big splash towards the end of the year. So every game in that regard is a big game, especially against a very good game opponent like you have in Auburn. But in terms of just who needs it more, you'd have to say Auburn just because of the loss and coming off the loss from last week. So I'll take Auburn.
All right, here we go. Moneymakers of the week. What do we got, kid?
Here we go. Last week we lost, or we hit. Last week we won Michigan money line, Iowa money line. We lost UNC plus 6.5 thanks to Mush, who took them on the money line, and they got blown out. So we're going this week. We're going Georgia on the straight bets of the week. We're going Georgia money line. We're taking Oregon plus 3.5.
Of course we are.
We're taking them on the money line too.
Ooh.
We're going to put a little bit more on the spread though, just to cover it. And then we're going with a 3-leg parlay with FSU money line Friday night, which could get a little sketch on the road, but I like it. Georgia plus 3.5 on an alternate spread, and Oregon plus 7.5 on an alternate spreads, plus 210. We're 5-4 on the year, 1-1 on the parlays. Let's get back on track.
Let's stay alive here. Let's get back to our winning ways.
Let's get back on
There
track.
we go, baby. Keep making that money, baby. All right, now we're on to our players of the week. So for me this week, Roadrunner of the week, offensive player of the week, definitely has to go to Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza. 21 of 23, 267 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and the blowout victory rout of Illinois 63-10. All right, Maul.
Here we go here. Got to go to my D-line guys, D-line coach, former D-line player. We're taking our talents out to
Can't wait to hear this.
With 5 tackles on the week, 3 solo tackles, 2 assisted tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 2.5 tackles for loss. We're taking Oklahoma defensive lineman and nose guard, Jaden Jackson. Record 10 sacks for the team, 14 tackles for loss. Hell of a defense. They're going to need it now with a little bit more with their quarterback going down. But like you said, they got a pretty good guy right behind them. So
great job there, Chorizo Paella.
Delete. Oh, stop, man.
No,
D-line has no friends. Remember that.
Yeah,
it was
how
that
about
in the
this?
jersey.
I'll be
kid.
quick here. Here we go. Fools of the week. Typically it's going to a high rusher. It's going to a team that has great offensive output. I went a little bit in a different route this week just because in a big rivalry game with an offense that was sputtering in a passing game quarterback-wise, I just watched the entire game, and I thought the Miami Hurricanes did a great job with 196-yard rushing on 42 attempts, right? You're pounding a team. You're calling 42 runs as an offensive coordinator who likes to throw the ball. It's because your offensive line is playing nasty, right? So 4.7 yards per carry. It's not always about the stats. Sometimes when your coach puts it on the sweat and on the backs of the O-line, you got to have a little pride in that. And then just, Fools of the Week, Miami Hurricanes. I want to give an honorable mention to the SEC officiating crew who helped Oklahoma take home a big win. Thanks, guys.
I'd like to give listen, we're at 58 minutes. We got to get out. But I'm going to give a big shout out to Coach Gundy, 35 years at Oklahoma State as a player, coach, head coach, had 4 winning seasons and 16 seasons before he got there. He led them to 18 straight winning seasons, longest in NCAA history. Good job there, Coach Gundy. A good ride there, Cowboy. All right, guys, great job. See you next week.
Have a good night.
See you next week, guys. Thank you.
All right.